Hi, this is a demonstration of the WRAP software. I'll start with demonstrating the budget module. So the budget module is something that hotel developers use to quickly and easily find out the development cost for a given project based on a limited number of parameters. Typically, developers need to spend 6 to 8 months doing full development of construction drawings, which cost them upwards of $500,000 to have detailed designs that can then be estimated to understand the cost for a project. But because many of these hotels are very standardized based on the prototypes from the brands, we've worked very closely with select brands such as Hilton to develop a standardized costing model for what it takes to build these hotels. So based on some limited parameters such as the zip code. So for instance, here, let's put in 94123, which is San Francisco, or you can pick a zip code of your choice. Let's say you want to do 80210, which is Denver, or let's go back to San Francisco, 94123. And then you put in the number of rooms, and this can be really any number between 80 and 200, but let's go with 100 rooms. And with those limited parameters, we can tell you what the project cost is and what the cost is per key per square foot, as well as the build time. And not only can we tell you the cost, we can provide a very detailed breakdown of the cost in the master format divisions. So we can tell you, for instance, how much you expect to pay for concrete, masonry, and the other key building elements. And then we can also provide estimates for site work elements, as well as the GC charges. Now, of course, site work and GC will vary based on the site and the GC that you choose. And so as you do get into site selection and your choices in GC, we can update some of these numbers to match the specifics of your project. Our model spits out typical parameters based for a 100-room hotel, extended stay hotel. So this includes the target number of rooms per floor, the number of floors, the gross square foot, the height parameter, if you're going to have a boardroom or not, or if you're going to have an indoor pool or not. So obviously you can change any of these parameters, as well as the room mix. This is the standard room mix based on the prototypical model, but this is also something that you could change to come up with what the cost impact is. So for instance, let's say you, rather than a 832 foot perimeter, let's say you said you wanted to do something that's a little larger. So let's say you want to go 900 foot perimeter. It'll update the pricing and the build times based for this perimeter. This projection is based on work that we've done with the different brands, as well as with a variety of GC architects and consulting firms around the country. And what we've done is for each of these divisions, we've come up with very detailed costs for what specific assemblies go in to make this division, and what the quantities and the material and installation costs for that would be on a nationwide basis, as well as for your specific market. And this has been benchmarked with GCs that operate in that market. So for instance, we go into wood and plastics, you'll see that there's a variety of rough carpentry assemblies, such as the floor, the roof, the ephes, which is sort of your external facade, as well as your interior and exterior walls, windows, stairs, etc. And then we also have finished carpentry items. And so for each of these items, we calculate the quantities based on the number of rooms, and then the material and installation costs based on our nationwide pricing, as well as benchmark costs that we've gotten for the different markets. So with this, we can provide a very detailed estimate of what it takes to build this hotel anywhere in the country versus in that specific market. And we've also started to identify where you can replace site-built parts with volumetric pods or panel components. So for instance, going back to the woods, plastics, and composites, we can, for instance, based on our expertise and our design prototypes, we can tell you that the wood flooring goes from 41,949 square feet down to 6,707 square feet for the common areas. And the rest of the flooring will come as part of the volumetric module. So therefore, with that, we can then tell you what the line-by-line scope reduction is as you go from on-site to volumetric, and the cost impact of that. So for instance, this 100-room hotel in San Francisco would cost $3.6 million less at $20 million if you were to go volumetric. This is over and above the increased rental revenues you see because of the 6 months and time savings that volumetric provides. And as you can see, this provides by division that, for instance, concrete drops from $800,000 to $654,000. This is the other game changer that we provide, because right now GCs and developers struggle to understand what the cost impact is as you swap in multi-trade components, volumetric components, and how that influences and affects the individual trades that normally come together to build a building, such as plumbing and electrician. And so based on our expertise in prefab, as well as our work with the brands and with GCs, we can give you an estimate for what that looks like, as well as provide an estimate for what the volumetric components will cost. And so this way, we can not only give you an estimate for site build, but we can also tell you if you were going for a volumetric option, or if you're going for bathroom and kitchen pods, or if you're going for wall, ceiling, and roof panels, what the impact would be on time as well as on cost. So based on this, you can optimize how you want to build this hotel. And all of this is based on our detailed assemblies and productized prototypes that we spent the last few years developing. I hope that makes sense in terms of clarifying how our estimating model works and how we help you develop an initial estimate. We help you optimize that estimate, and then we also help you validate some of those numbers with GCs, fabricators, and subs that will serve your local area, so you can ensure that this is a very good estimate of what it's going to take to build this hotel. And the game changer here is you're getting all of this only with a location, a number of rooms. You're not spending any money on any design development. And so you can use these numbers to guide your decision-making on where you want to build, as well as some of the financing options that you want to use to build this.